All right, guys, I wasn't going to do it this way. I really was not going to do this way. I am grabbing all the equipment and I'm currently heading out to the yard. I'm going out to the testing facility and we're going to take a good close look at a large knife. And the problem is this knife is too big for me to film on the tabletop. It just won't fit. So I figured, why not test out my new cameras and do some multi-angle shots while we look at this great big cold steel triad lock Espada XL. And I got to tell you, it's amazing. You guys are going to get a kick out of this. I really put this knife through its paces. So let's finish getting this set up and start taking a look at this great big knife.
All right, guys, well, you heard me while I was setting up the camera and everything. Today, we're looking at a rather unique knife. This is being filmed outside because, well, it's too big to film inside. This is the cold steel Espada XL. And as we're fighting with the weather out here, because we've got a storm rolling in here to San Diego, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. I've been carrying this for 2 weeks now, and it has really impressed me, all the things you can do with this knife. It's not an average size knife by any long stretch. We're going to get some specs. We're going to do some boring stuff, but we're going to do it out here. And I'm going to tell you why I really think I've changed my mind about this knife. Okay, so I'm going to get some overhead shots of this out here, but we're going to read some specs off this because this is an insane knife. So you're looking at an overall length of 16¾ inches. It is 7.5 inches in blade length. That is a massive knife. 14.8 ounces, and it's done in Aus 8 steel. Now, the thing about cold steel knives is they have got this crazy triad lock that just takes it from being a normal knife and turns it almost into a fixed blade. Now, the next cool thing about this knife is, even though it's huge, and I mean, you can see it's huge, it's 2 hands, it is really easy, as you can see over here, it's really easy in pocket to carry and then to deploy. It's just so simple, and that's because cold steel for a long time has used these unique Emerson Wave style type of thumb plates, but what you get with this that you don't get is you can still thumb roll this open. So you get the benefit of a thumb stud with this thumb plate, but then, like I said, over here, you can see just flies out of the pocket right there, just screams out. So that's one of the cool things. But what else is incredible about it is it's absolutely one of those knives that you don't think you would carry every day, but then once you get it in hand and you realize how comfortable these grips really are, you start to notice that this is something that you could feasibly put in your pocket and carry day to day. It's not hard to carry. It's balanced really well. Can you guys see, like that balance point? It's tip heavy. It's got that nice tip forward balance on it. And in any of these grips, you're really looking at something that is surprisingly easy to hold. Even like, I mean, it's just amazing. And then the action on it is just surprisingly good. Now, to have a big knife like this that you can just do that with is really cool. But I have found a lot of other things in my testing that might surprise everyone else. So now a lot of the testing I did was just your basic day-to-day, everyday carry stuff that I wouldn't expect to carry a knife like this for. But the blade is really well ground. It's not super thin. And it has done a very good job with a lot of tasks I didn't expect it to do well with. Cardboard cutting. I thought it was going to be too big, too bulky. I was afraid maybe behind the edge it was going to be a little bit thick. It would bind up. I cut a bunch of wood to do like dowel rods and things like that. Now, I didn't film much of the testing, but I did film some chopping. I'll show you that right now, that I did do a bunch of chopping out here a little bit earlier today before, well, when we had a break in the weather because it's starting to rain again. So let's look at that real quick. Just the straight up chopping that I did with this beast. All right, guys, well, I typically wouldn't test a folding knife like this. And we've said this before in a bunch of videos, but this is not your typical folding knife. This is the cold steel Espada XL, which is kind of built for this. And I'm gonna use this piece of kiln dried, this stuff is hard. This is kiln dried oak firewood. I get it specifically because it's hard. You guys don't ever really get to see the testing, but we're gonna do some chopping with a folding knife I would never do with anything else. Sorry about that, guys. My phone rang while I was filming. Yeah, we're gonna test this. We're gonna see how the edge holds up. We're gonna see, now this is Cold Steel's heat treat on this. I imagine it's gonna hold up just fine. Their heat treat's really good. But basically, I'm just gonna do some chopping that I typically wouldn't do with a folding knife because this triad lock is built to basically make this as close to a fixed blade as you're gonna get. And I gotta tell you, this thing would be surprisingly good as a camp knife. You're just able to notch stuff out. If you need to do some chopping, you can. Like I said, super hard wood, and I'm not really feeling anything on this edge here that would lead me to believe that it is not. Yeah, guys, nothing wrong with that lock. And like I said, this is not typically something you would do with a folding knife. This isn't the kind of testing you would do. But I'm gonna tell you, Scab's right. I'm really surprised at how good the Espada XL is just all around. This thing has been amazing so far. So it is raining. I'm gonna head back in and we'll talk about this some more. Now, one of the big factors for most people, even though with all that chopping and all this stuff, one of the big factors is, can you use it just for the regular things that you would do? And you absolutely can. Most of the things I did with this knife were things that I could see myself doing in an average day-to-day scenario, cutting up cardboard, opening packages, simply coming out here and doing some yard tasks that I would use a knife for, cutting line and cutting rope and things like that. It handled it very, very well. I was absolutely amazed at how well this worked and how well it's balanced. Now, the other things that I did with this was just your standard things that you would carry a knife for. But it's not for everyone. There are definitely some limiting factors on that. And we're gonna have to talk about that right now, because there are a lot of things about this that definitely are going to be problematic for a lot of you people that are just normies. So let's just get the elephant in the room out of the way first. This thing is huge. I mean, really, when you look at it, that is bigger than most of my other knives closed. And I'll get an overhead shot so that you guys can see. In this overhead shot, you can see that this knife closed is as big as my Microtech Amphibian, which is not a small knife. It's 9 1/4 inches. But the thing it does have going for it, it is so robust that if you need something for an outdoor camping knife, it'll meet that fact. Now, there's other problems with this. For a lot of people, this isn't going to fit in your pocket the way you want. Like, you may have problems with it sitting down, things like that. That can be problematic for a lot of people. The other one is there are places where this is absolutely legal for you to carry. You can't carry this in Los Angeles or San Francisco or some of the other big cities like New York, you know, where you have a restricted blade length. Even on a folding knife, even on folding knives, they have those restrictions. There's another problem. I know you probably saw it when I did when I deployed it out of my pocket. The G10 on this does tear up pockets. It's horribly, horribly terrible on pocket. I mean, it's very bad on pockets. This one's not quite as bad as the smaller version because there's less tension on the pocket clip, but still that textured G10 is going to pose a problem occasionally. That can tear up pockets. Now, the other one is there's a lot of companies that make the pockets on their jeans shallower. Or if you're carrying like 511s. 511s is another brand that has notoriously shallow pockets. I can't get this in the pocket of some of my tactical pants, like my cargo pants, but if you're gonna carry this in a backpack, it's just about perfect. Now, I do have to say, Cold Steel really did a good job offering you carry options. It does have an ambidextrous pocket clip, which is cool because the triad lock is absolutely it's absolutely ambidextrous. The triad lock is as strong a lock as you're gonna get. So this is not like a full review. This is just, how can you carry this knife? And so in the 2 weeks that I've been carrying it, I just thought I'd bring you the things that I've found, good and bad. So when we do the full review of this, I do have to say, chopping, no issue with the edge. This thing is still razor sharp. So guys, yeah, basically that's it. We're not going to do any green screen on this, and we're gonna do it all out here. I've got enough work to do with multiple camera angles and things like that. So it's gonna be a big edit. I just wanted to start bringing you guys things like this where I do it in a different fashion. You got to keep it fresh on the channel. So you guys know I got a ton of affiliate links down below. You can use those. I will put a purchase link to this knife in the description below. Ton of affiliate links. You know, those support the channel. Anything you use those for, the Amazon store, take that link, pin it to your browser. I have got a discount on 2 of those links. It is it is Coffee Brand Coffee and Tempered Trail. Both of those have 10% built into the links. So all you have to do is just basically go there and you get 10% off the purchase. There's an Amazon store. Take that, pin it to your browser, use it for all your Amazon shopping. And guys, I can save you 10%. Fair and Forge Knife Work, KATSU Knives, Rosecraft Blades, with the coupon code crazysharp, all one word. Not going to make it take any longer. Guys, this has been fun learning how to do this with multiple camera angles. So I will see you guys in the next video.